Hello, this is Charlotte Cornfield. I'm a songwriter from Toronto, and I have a new record called Hurts Like Hell that came out at the end of March. And tomorrow night, I'm going to be part of an amazing show, tribute to Big Star. That's a fundraiser for Daily Bread Food Bank happening at the Garrison in celebration of Bookie. And I'm psyched to be here on Toronto Mic'd.
What up, Mike? Toronto, VK on the beat, check. I'm in Toronto where you wanna get the city love. I'm from Toronto where you wanna get the city love. I'm in Toronto like we wanna get the city love. My city love me back for my city love. I'm in Toronto where you wanna.
Welcome to episode 1897 of Toronto Mic'd, an award-winning podcast proudly brought to you by Great Lakes Brewery. Order online at greatlakesbeer.com for free, local, home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. Visit palmapasta.com for more. The Toronto Maple Leafs baseball team all be at Christie Pitts this Sunday at 2 p.m. for the home opener. Your Toronto Maple Leafs are playing Sunday. Fusion Corp's own Nick Iones. He's the host of Building Toronto Skyline and Mike and Nick, two podcasts that you ought to listen to. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. And Ridley Funeral Home, pillars of the community since 1921. Joining me today, making her Toronto Mic'd debut, it is indeed Charlotte Cornfield. Nice to meet you, Charlotte.
Nice to meet you too.
That name, Cornfield, that's the real deal, or is this a stage name? That is a beautiful name.
It's my real last name.
Okay. So, from a family of corn farmers, possibly the origin of that surname.
Maybe way back, it was an anglicization of the name Cornfeld, which I think was more sort of like wheat farmer, German, Polish background. I don't know totally the history there.
Sundown in the Paris of the prairies. Yeah. Okay, love the origin story, because Charlotte Cornfield is a pretty fantastic handle.
Yeah, I got lucky with the style of music that I do.
Can we shout somebody out off the top?
Mm-hmm.
Elliot Lefko.
Yes.
How do you know Elliot Lefko?
I mean, I'd heard tell of Elliot for years. He's done so much amazing work for music, and I met him, I think it was 2 years ago at the same event that I'm doing this weekend, and that year we were doing Replacements.
So let's talk about that event off the top, and then we'll get to know you better.
Sure.
And I have some Charlotte Cornfield music I'm going to play, and we're gonna have a great chat. But this event, so we're recording on Friday, May 8th.
Mm-hmm. This
event is tomorrow.
It is.
So tomorrow, and so this is the third annual, and you mentioned you bring non-perishable food items, and that gets you in the door at the Garrison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's a great cause, and it's in memory of Dave Bookman. We'll talk about Bookie in a moment. But just so I get the facts right here, 2 years ago, you mentioned great artists like yourself would play songs by the Replacements.
Yeah.
I attended last year. It was the Tragically Hip. Cool. Were you part of the lineup last year?
No, I wasn't. I think I can't remember where I was. I think I was on the road at that point.
On the road again? Do you know that was Terry Fox's favorite song?
Really?
Yeah, on the road again.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, he liked a little country and some Willie Nelson there. Okay. And this year it is, what artist are you guys covering this year?
Big Star.
Okay, how familiar, I was curious when I looked at that. I don't know why because they're playing Bookie's, it's all about Bookie's favorite artists. Mm-hmm. That's how they came up with Big Star. And Big Star is like a critical darling.
Yeah.
But not a commercial success. Like,
no,
what was your familiarity with Big Star before you realized you had to cover a Big Star song tomorrow night?
I actually love Big Star so much that I have a line in a song off my last record, Could Have Done Anything, where I mention Big Star. I'm talking about putting records on. Should we put on a record, maybe Big Star's third? So I've been a huge fan of theirs for about 12 or 13 years. And just some of my favorite songs.
Well, then you got lucky with this this theme this year. Like if you were asked to perform, I'm curious. I'm naturally curious because now this is the third band that's been covered for a night at the Garrison in honor of Bookie for the Daily Bread Food Bank. Like if they said, "Oh, the artist is," and they named a band that you hate. Like, does that matter? You'll find a song you can do, or like, does it matter who you're covering at these annual Garrison events?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like I wouldn't agree to do it if I wasn't into if I wasn't into it. I'm totally
poor Bookie. He's like, come on, it's one of my favorite bands. He's saying, come on, Charlotte.
Well, yeah, it's more just like I'd be happy to attend and support, but if it wasn't going to musically resonate, it'd be hard to pull it off.
Are there? I mean, now I need to know. Like, are there popular bands that you'd be like, nope?
Well, I'm on Toronto mic'd, so I'm afraid to say this, but Rush.
Okay, don't be afraid. Listen, I think I'm in trouble with the Rush truthers. Like, I think I'm in their bad books because I've been saying that in subdivisions, the sample of there's a voice that says subdivisions, and I am all but certain. I don't have any proof, or this conversation would be over. This debate would be over. But I believe it to be a sample of Mark Daly on City Pulse, which was the city TV news at the time. You're a much younger person than I am, so I'll have to tell you about City Pulse. Sit down. Grandpa wants to tell you about City Pulse, okay? But the Rush truthers say, no, that's Neil Peart, the late Neil Peart. There's no evidence of that either, except that, the band said that's Neil Peart, so we're supposed to just believe it, I guess, 100%. So I feel like this is a safe space if you want to hate on Rush.
I mean, it's not that I want to hate on Rush. It's just that their music doesn't resonate.
What about Spirit of Radio? Like, that's got a bit of a reggae rhythm going on. Maybe you could do a nice little Charlotte Cornfield cover of Spirit of Radio.
Well, I actually did cover Tom Sawyer in 2008 as part of a Music We Hate show.
Oh, that's funny.
So everyone had to pick a song that they hated.
There's only one, and now, by the way, this tour that's coming up, they played the Junos recently. I don't know if you caught that, but
yes, with Anika Miles on
so
drums.
there's actually a woman in the band,
which is amazing. And she's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. But there's only one Rush song in their entire catalog where you hear a woman's voice. Time Stands Still. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And anyway, that's a fun fact here. Okay, so we're moving on from Rush. This is Rushcast, but I want to say that there's two promoters, by the way. It's not just Elliot Lefko behind this annual event at the Garrison. Everybody should show up with some non-perishable food, and I'll name check some of the artists that'll be playing in addition to Charlotte Cornfield. But Stephen Stanley, who is an original member of Lowest of the Low.
Yep.
Do you know Stephen?
I do know Stephen. He's a buddy of mine. Really, really sweet guy. Amazing musician. And yeah.
So I agree on all the accounts. He's a sweetheart. He's been here multiple times. Love the guy. He actually came on once with Chris Brown from Bourbon Tabernacle Choir.
I know Chris too.
Chris? Yeah. He's great. He's a Wolf Island guy. Mm-hmm. You been to Wolf Island?
I have many times, yeah.
See, I got to get my ass over there. All the action's on Wolf Island, but also got to name check Ron Hawkins, who it was nice to have Stephen and Ron touring together again.
Yeah. I mean, I actually am not super deep on Lowest of the Low. Like
Get out of my basement.
I just like have not, it's not that I just haven't checked it out.
Well, where were you in 1991, Charlotte
I was
Cornfield?
3. And I was living.
Actually, I'm mildly surprised you were alive, to be honest. I thought you were going to tell me I was a glint in my father's eye or something like that. But okay, so I'm going to name check some of the artists that are joining you. But I wanted to shout out Stephen Stanley and Elliot Lefko that they do a great job on this. In fact, last year to promote this event at the Garrison, Brendan Canning,
love Brendan,
founding member of Broken Social Scene. I feel like they're having a resurgence.
New record out today.
Yes, that's right. I got that email. That's right. I'm going to see them this summer at the, what's it called now? The RBC Amphitheater.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you artists have like a cheat sheet for what the hell is the venue called?
I don't know what it's called. Same with Meridian Hall, Sony Center, O'Keefe, Hummingbird.
Can't we just the Horseshoe Tavern, if that's the name and we don't change it, like we don't mess with it. Like that's the Rivoli, okay? The Rivoli doesn't change its name.
Talk about having a resurgence.
Yeah. Nirvana, the band,
Show the movie,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an episode of Toronto Mike, Charlotte, your homework maybe on your way home.
Yeah.
I had on a guy named Barry Hertz, who's he covers movies for the Globe and Mail.
Yep.
We just did 90 minutes like on the origin story of Nirvana the band and the multiple series they had, the web series, the Vice TV series, and then the movie. Like, this is a super deep dive into Nirvana the band, the show, the movie, and more. I called it Nirvana the band, the show, the movie, the podcast, and all the Nirvana the band heads should check it out.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to check it out.
And you're right. The Rivoli is, I feel like a lot of that nostalgia has come back thanks to Nirvana the band. Like, remember Now magazine when it was this cool free weekly that you'd pick up and all this stuff? So, okay, you ready to run through some artists?
Yes.
And then after this, we'll get to know Charlotte Cornfield. But your job is to, I don't know, react to each, even I don't know that person or I love that person, whatever. Okay, and if I mispronounce names, it's because I'm terrible, okay? Let's start with Aaron Goldstein.
I love Aaron Goldstein. I've known him forever. Incredible musician, songwriter, side person, producer. Amazing guy.
See, I love this game because now that you've set the bar there, when you say something like, oh, he's fine, like, we'll know that means, I don't like this person. Okay. All right, here's a band, FOTM band. That means Friend of Toronto Mike. You're now an FOTM yourself, Charlotte. Altered by Mom.
Don't know anything about that band.
Altered by Mom. You're going to see them perform tomorrow at the Garrison. Okay, cool. I hope I don't butcher the last name. Anna Murnix.
Oh, yeah.
Did I say the last name right?
Yeah. Yeah, she's in Beams. She's got her own project. She's in Ace of Wands. And she is a fellow musician parent. I have a 3-year-old daughter, and she's got a son who's like a little over 1. So we've been chatting about that.
Okay, I feel like Sky Wallace could join that crew.
Yeah, Sky Wallace, also awesome musician.
Although not on this bill.
Oh, is she not? Sorry, I don't have my glasses on because I forgot
I don't want you reading my screen anyways because all the real talk is there. I don't want you to know what's coming. But Craig Daniels, I feel like I met him in Montreal. Like that sounds like a song. Like I met him in Montreal.
I think I met him years ago in Montreal. Like weirdo, awesome, classic punk guy.
Here's a name I can pronounce. Ready? Drew Smith
from the Bicycles.
I love Bicycles.
Yeah. Classic Toronto band. Amazing musician. He's put out music under Bunny, the name Bunny, I think. But he also, just really, really, really great musician.
I'm glad you're here because I'm getting an education now. Like, because I don't have, I'm not cool like you people who know all this stuff. So I'm glad you're here. Gentleman Reg, also legendary Toronto songwriter. He's put out so many great records, and he's a pal. And also collaborator of the Hidden Cameras and I think Broken Social Scene at various times. So excited to hear. But who's not on that list? Okay, that's a long list.
Yeah.
The Broken Social Scene. I'm going to ask you about one soon when we get to you. Geordie Gordon?
Yeah, Geordie Gordon used to be, when I first knew about Geordie, he was in a band called the Bar Mitzvah Brothers from Guelph, like way back in the day. But he's been putting out amazing records under his own name. He also plays with a lot of great bands like US Girls and The Weather Station. Okay, and as far as I know, no relation to FOTM Hall of Famer Cam Gordon. I just threw that out for the listenership. Okay, Graven, Matty McKechnie, I think is his last name. That's right, yeah. Also a Wolf. I know him through like sort of Ottawa / Wolf Island people. Really sweet guy. Very sweet guy. He's also an FOTM, so I'm going to shout out the FOTMs here. Cool. Here's an FOTM, John Bora. I first met John Bora. He was doing sound at the Dakota, and probably about 2008 or 9, I met him, and then I realized he was an incredible musician in his own right. No, he's an absolute legend. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. And many collaboration with a guy who's in the Bookie band we'll get to later, Ian Blurton, who's also a good FOTM, but we'll get to him. Okay, John Critchley. Oh, he's on the lineup. Awesome. The way that I know John is that he owns a studio that I rehearse at called Green Door on Sororan, but I know that he's also made records for a lot of people, like Dan Mangan's first record I think he made. You know, that's a great old folk song, Behind the Green Door. But I learned that song. This is a strange story. Is that I know that song because I owned a Mini Pops album when I was a little boy. And on that Mini Pops album was a kid covering the Green Door. Okay, so the songs Stupid Cupid is another one I knew. I know that song, yeah. But I only knew it from Mini Pops. Like, you don't hear Stupid Cupid in the wild too often. But Stupid Cupid, stop picking on me. Okay.
back to the list here, because here's another FOTM. This will tie into somebody I'm going to ask you about in a moment who's aligned with Broken Social Scene, but also by Divine Right, of course, Jose Contreras, FOTM, Jose.
Yeah, I know Jose by Divine Right. Also, such a classic Toronto band. I've known Jose through the scene for years, and he's also a really lovely guy.
Josh Salter.
Don't know Josh.
Josh, we apologize. We need to learn more about Josh Salter. Katie Cruel.
Katie Cruel, Kate Boothman. She's so awesome. I think she lives in Coburg, but I saw her at this event a couple years ago.
The Replacements one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Here's a guy who just made his Toronto Mic debut earlier this year because he's behind the new documentary that is about Nash the Slash. I'm referring to Kevin Byrne, but he's there with Rebecca Campbell.
Rebecca Campbell, I know through. I feel like she makes like kind of avant-garde. She's in the jazz.
Cut Flowers.
Yeah, don't know Cut Flowers.
Okay, but you know Kiwi Jr.
I do know Kiwi Jr. Yeah, they're an awesome band. I've played with them before.
Okay, we're gonna cook with gas here. I feel like it's gonna be 90 minutes on the lineup, and then I'll say goodbye. I'll give you your stuff, and you'll get out of here. Christy Lane St. Clair.
Yes, I met her, I think, through Kevin Drew from Broken Social Scene. And yeah, she's a really cool person.
I'm working on getting Kevin Drew on Toronto Mic because, of course, the new manager of Broken Social Scene is none other than Jake Gold. Did you know this?
I did know this, I think, yeah.
Okay, well, Jake's a bud.
Cool.
I need Kevin Drew on Toronto Mic. Okay, so Kyla Marlena.
Don't know Kyla.
Lee Rose.
Lee Rose, also from Ace of Wands. Awesome band. She's great.
Mad Folk.
Don't know Mad Folk.
Nightmares in the Afternoon.
Don't know them either.
Oh, no, I'm just telling you about my day yesterday. Full of nightmares in the afternoon. Okay. Nixon Boyd.
Nixon Boyd from Colorado. I think he lives in Aurelia now, and he's got a kiddo too. And yeah, stoked that he's going to be there.
On that note, I don't know if I finished that thought of who did Elliot Lefko send over last year. So this year he tapped you on the shoulder and said, get your ass to Toronto Mic's basement. And I appreciate you being here. Okay. But last year, I think I started it. I said Brendan Canning, but the other guy was Mino Versteeg.
Menno Versteeg. Yeah.
Menno.
Yeah.
Menno. He had a fake name too. It'll come to me at some point.
Oh, Mav Carlo.
Yes, there you go. Yeah. Mav Carlo. Okay. For people like me who can't say Menno or Mino. Okay. So, shout out to Colorado. Piner,
Clea is from Kingston. She's an amazing young artist. I love her songs.
I can't wait for the first name I say and you're like, yeah, I know them and they suck. Okay. The Rural Alberta Advantage. Easy for you to say.
I've met all of those folks. We've gotten to know, well, I guess we don't know each other well. We've just kind of orbited for a number of years, but they're a cool band.
Okay. And I hope this isn't painful. I realized when I started this, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to run down this list.
No, I can throw down.
Okay, good, because I'm going to butcher this pronunciation too. Shakura Saida.
Shakura Saida. I just know her as,
Saida.
An amazing singer.
Sean Bowring.
Sean's the owner of the Garrison. And I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Roadkill.
Of course I have.
Yeah, he's the star of that film.
So, because there's a McDonald, right? These are...
yeah, I think it's Bruce McDonald, and Joey Ramone is in that movie.
So, I mean, I'm thinking now of my friends in Acid Test who had a great song called Mr. Skin that shows up in, I think it was Highway 61 Revisited. Is that like a sequel to this or whatever?
I don't know.
Okay, this whole universe is totally rad because that's what gets us, I think that leads to Hardcore Logo. Did you ever see Hardcore Logo?
How have I not seen Hardcore Logo? I don't know, but I haven't.
Okay. And the character Billy Talent, played by Callum Keith Rennie, which of course is eventually a band from Streetsville would name themselves after that character.
Yes.
Yeah, but they changed the spelling of talent, as I recall. Okay, Toro. God, thank God you're here.
Cynthia Toro, Brendan Canning's bandmate. I don't think Brendan's going to be at the show because they're on a Broken Social.
He's not on the list.
Yeah,
he's got bigger fish to fry, maybe.
But Cynthia's a really great singer.
Wax Mannequin.
I know him as a Hamilton guy. He's also been around for a really long time on the scene, and he's a really cool performer.
And I was trying to go alphabetically, and I skipped Triples.
Don't know Triples.
Okay, good. No, please, Mike, don't butcher this pronunciation again. Zinnia.
Okay, Zinnia I will rave about because she's one of my best friends.
Let's go. Okay, spend another minute on Civic because the rest is just the Bookie Band, which is Ian Blurden and Jody Brummel and Jude Rule and Anna Reddick and.
I'm gonna open this.
Okay, so can you tell us what you're gonna drink there? And it's gonna be all Charlotte the rest of the way after you rave about zinnia.
Oh, Sam James Hot Pop with coffee. Cool.
Okay, so that is from Great Lakes Brewery because I offered you a beer and you said no, and then I said, what about a hot pop? There's no alcohol in it, so enjoy that Great Lakes beverage. It's a hop pop, delicious.
Wow, this is cool. This is a cool beverage.
You're gonna dig it. You're gonna dig it. And then I'm gonna send home with you, Charlotte, some fresh craft beer that you may enjoy.
Great. Sounds great.
And then I'll do this right now, and then we're going to hear about zinnia, and then we're going to dive into your life and times and play some Charlotte. Let me tell you that in my freezer upstairs, I have a delicious frozen lasagna for you that was sent by Palma Pasta. They're in Mississauga and Oakville. Go to palmapasta.com. You'll love it. It's delicious. Do you like Italian food?
Yes. Dude, that's amazing, incredible news.
I was sweating when I asked that question. Hopefully because once in a while I'll have Biff Naked, for example, and I'll be, I got a lasagna. She's like, well, I can't eat cheese. And obviously no meat, so I'd have to get her vegetarian, but no cheese. It's hard to find a cheeseless lasagna.
Yeah, it's hard. My partner is vegan. I eat cheese. My daughter eats cheese. So we will eat. You're gonna
okay. Your partner is SOL. Okay, SOL. I won't tell you what that stands for. Tell me. Let me give you one more gift. So we're talking on a Friday. Your event at the Garrison for a good cause in memory of Bookie is tomorrow. That is Saturday, May 9th. I actually am committed to be at the Danforth Music Hall because I went last year and I would definitely bike to the Garrison. It's so close, but I've decided I'm biking to Danforth Music Hall because I'm going to see Lowest of the Low because they came over to talk about 35 years since Shakespeare My Butt, and it's
awesome.
But I will be there in spirit. But I want to give you a book about the history of Toronto Maple Leafs baseball because the home opener is Sunday, 2 p.m. Christie Pitts. No ticket required. I want everybody to get off their butts and get to Christie Pitts for 2 o'clock. Let's see what UCL Puig can do at Christie Pitts.
I love this because I grew up really close to Christie Pitts, and I would go to those games sometimes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And tickets are on me, everybody. So get to Christie Pitts this Sunday at 2 p.m. I think it's going to be totally rad. I'm looking forward to it. So another great season of Maple Leaf baseball here. So, and last but not least, in the gift front, I have a measuring tape for you, Charlotte, from Ridley Funeral Home.
Cool.
We actually just recorded yesterday a fresh episode of Brad Jones's podcast. It's called Life's Undertaking. And we actually recorded video and stuck that on the Ridley Funeral Home Facebook page. So if you want to see my handsome face, you can see it there. You can see Brad. But of course, Life's Undertaking is available wherever you get your podcasts. And while I'm shouting out podcasts, Nick Iones has a popular and slightly controversial, but not Nick's fault, podcast called Building Toronto Skyline. And I urge listeners to check that out. And there's another one with Nick called Mike and Nick. I'm the Mike in that title. And that's available also wherever you get your podcast. So thank you to Nick Iones from Fusion Corp. All right, Charlotte, tell me a bit about Zinnia, your dear friend, and then let's get to know you.
Yeah, so Zinnia is Rachel Cardiello, who is a very close friend of mine, and she, on my last record, Could Have Done Anything, I have a song called Walking with Rachel, and she's the Rachel from that song. And her project Zinnia is amazing, and I just love her music so much. We've collaborated a ton over the years, and I'm so excited that she's going to be there, and I think I'm going to sing with her on this song.
Love it. That's amazing. Okay, so that's a little teaser. Spoiler alert. Okay. All right. So you're a Toronto gal, but like I know you lived in Montreal, you lived in Brooklyn. Maybe take me back. So what's the Charlotte Cornfield origin story? Like, when did you realize you wanted to make music?
Really early on. I started taking piano lessons when I was a kid, and I really liked it. I started playing drums at 12. I would come out to Etobicoke and take jazz piano lessons, and it was just the thing that I loved. And then around 12, I got really into Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, Bob Dylan, and started writing songs on the classical guitar. And that was kind of that, honestly. It's been a lifelong pursuit.
Lifelong pursuit. So I mentioned, what brought you to Montreal?
I went to Montreal to study jazz drumming at Concordia University. And then I did my degree there and stayed for a couple of years after that.
Oh, so you on the live. I just popped into the live stream, and DJ Dream Doctor is there, and just says you look exactly like his niece. So, do you have
Cool.
an uncle DJ Dream Doctor?
Definitely not.
Okay. So, what did you think of Montreal? My daughter, my oldest daughter, just like she literally wrote her last exam like a couple of weeks ago at McGill. And she has decided that she's going to rent a place and stick around. Like, so she's done school now.
Cool.
Where I originally thought she was going to do 4 years at McGill and then come back to Toronto. The rent prices are better in Montreal.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
She's sticking around. So
That's great.
shout out to Michelle, who's actually, I talked to her yesterday on WhatsApp, and she was in Ireland heading for Scotland because she's doing a
cool.
little European thing
Amazing.
before she starts working full time. She's going to miss, she'll be in Europe. She is going to miss my Elma Combo debut, which is May 21st. So I'm just saying, less than 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be headlining at the Elmo, and tickets are available. If you go to torontomike.com and you click Elmo Gig, buy a couple of tickets to see me. You mentioned piano. I have a keyboard prodigy, Rob Pruce, on stage with me, and he'll be there to add some audio elements. But I'm doing like a 90-minute thing with a grand finale with super surprise guests. It might be you, Charlotte. Who knows? But that's happening May 21, and I wanted to make sure the listenership knew.
Cool.
Okay, so Montreal.
Yeah.
What did you think of Montreal?
I loved it. It was such an amazing place to live and to like cut my teeth in the music scene. And I lived in the Mile End for 4 years, which was just like this epicenter of music making and an incredible community. And yeah, I just love Montreal.
But you didn't stay.
I didn't stay because as an Anglo in Montreal, my dad's actually from Montreal. He's like Jewish Montrealer. As an Anglo in Montreal, I felt like there was a sort of a limit to what I could do. And then I had always wanted to live in New York, so I went there for a couple of years and then came back here.
Speaking of broken social scene, living in Montreal is Amy Milan from Stars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Amy and Evan.
And Amy and Emily Haynes were BFFs at Etobicoke School of the Arts.
Yeah, and Kevin Drew is, I think, a couple of years behind them.
And that's why because I'm going to ask you about Brooklyn in a minute. And I keep hearing about Metric, this New York band. And I feel like I'm becoming a Metric truther who needs to remind people that this is actually a Toronto band.
Who says that Metric's a New York band? I've never heard
Emily.
Say
well,
that.
Emily's doing press and talks about coming back to where it all began, New York City. Like, she's definitely spinning Metric as a New York band. I'm telling you, I'll send you some links.
There, I think.
No, they formed here, then they go there, and they absolutely are in New York for that whole, Strokes explosion and all that jazz. Everybody, this is well documented. Then they come back here, and they've been here ever since. That's a Toronto band formed here.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
agree.
I feel like now I know how those Rush fans feel when I say that's not Neil Peart saying subdivisions. But okay, so we'll do a few tangents like that. But when do you go to Brooklyn?
2012.
Okay, so and again, I'm trying to just so you go to Montreal for school.
Mm-hmm.
You come back to Toronto, right? Or do you go to Brooklyn?
No, I went to Brooklyn first.
Okay.
And then
So Toronto, Montreal, Brooklyn, and then back to Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about Brooklyn.
Yeah, I loved living there. I was like broke and working odd jobs and in love and trying to make it all work. And so I eventually came back to Canada without really succeeding at that. But I have so many dear friends there and there's just such an amazing music scene and everything. And just walking down the street there, I feel like there's so much inspiration per square inch of that city.
Okay, and I hear that. Montreal's got a great history itself, and Brooklyn's got this amazing history itself, but Toronto's got a great history too.
Oh, yeah, totally. I will admit that when I left Toronto at the age of 17, I was underage still, so I hadn't really lived, obviously, as an adult in the city, but I was so, like, I'm ready to get out of here,
Sure.
burn this place down. I don't like it. It's conservative. It's all the things that I don't
Do you find it conservative?
No. Toronto is so different from A, what I thought it was then, and B, how it used to be. I think it's an amazing city with so much going on and a lot of like a cost of living crisis and a lot of things, a lot of challenges, but the community, the life, the everything in the city is I love it so much.
But you hit the nail on the head there of the cost of living crisis. Like, I think this is severe. I mean, how many,
severe.
I mean, we mentioned Wolf Island. Well, the reason so many of our great artists are suddenly in Hamilton or up north or whatever, or they're in on Wolf Island or wherever they're going. Toronto is an expensive place to live right now. And it is very difficult as a Canadian musician who isn't named, Gordon Lightfoot or whatever, to make a living. Like, I feel for you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel fortunate in my living situation that my partner owns the house that we live in, but many of my friends have had to leave the city or just have a compromise, like a back and forth Toronto thing, or take out a room.
Port Hope and stuff like that. I feel like you have to push it further and further, because I think there was a time not that long ago, I remember, I'm older than you, but like where you were like, oh, if I can't afford to live in Toronto, I can have a mansion in Barrie. Okay, this was a time. There was a time like this, and that's so long gone. Where now you're outpriced. Like, Barrie's too expensive.
Yeah, it's within like basically 500 kilometers in any direction.
So what does that do to a city's musical vibe and scene? Like, that's going to devastate a music scene, I would think.
Yeah, I think about this often because I used to be a venue, like a booker. I managed and directed Burdock Music Hall on Bloor and Dufferin for 4 years. And B, I'm on the Toronto Music Advisory Council, which is a committee at City Hall that advocates for music in the city. And so I think a lot about the wearing my artist hat, about all of the people who are leaving and all the incredibly talented folks who can't afford to live here. I think long term that will have really negative effects on the music community.
It's a damn shame. Like, and I do repeat myself often, but because I remember having conversations with artists, and some artists that you'll hear on Q107 20 times today, right? Like, I'm thinking of Kim Mitchell, right? So Kim Mitchell, successful artist. He's all over. It was all over Much Music, all over Q and other stations. Of course, a lot of big hits in this country. And then you hear about, like when they were getting started and making no money, like they could all live in a house for like $100 each a month or whatever. And even in today's dollars, it's so reasonable. Like, you can afford to be a starving artist.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, even when my partner Nelson like bought his condo was after graduating from OCAD at 22, like you could do that then. Now it's like an OCAD graduate is lucky if they can, do anything.
Oh, and even we peaked, I think it was a few years ago, this real estate peak, and we have come down like a titch. Like, I kind of monitor it, as a hobby or whatever, but you're still, if you, even today you need something like, you'll need at least $600K or something if you want to buy something like something tiny.
The barrier for entry is just, it's extreme unless people have wild salaries or family.
You need you know what? What's going to happen is our musicians are all going to be children of well-to-do people.
I mean, that's going to be who's going to be able to afford to buy places.
Well, a house down the street went for $1 million, and I was talking to the guy because he was moving. He himself was moving to. I get these names all confused. It's what's like near Bolton. It starts with a C, and that's terrible. I can't remember the name.
Clarington? No, I actually don't know.
No, you know what? Let's tap out of that one. Okay, I'll fix this in post. Charlotte, I'll fix it in post. But regardless, he's talking about the young couple that's moving in. I'm like, how does a young couple in 2026? How do they buy? I couldn't afford a $1 million home today, and he gave me that look, and he says, parents are helping. Like, that's the only way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's
where's my generational wealth, Charlotte? I'm going off here. Okay. So tell me a little bit about, so you I mean, a little more, maybe a titch more about, like, what did Brooklyn teach you, and then why did you come back to Toronto?
I think what drew me to New York was the incredible history of music and art there, but also there are more people there, and there is more going on, and the level of music and art was just so high, and so I was just really inspired by that. And we also have so much great stuff happening here, but I will say that it's just a much bigger city and things happen on a bigger scale there.
Sure.
So I think I took back some of that energy and inspiration and brought it to Toronto. And when I got back here, I was really excited about my buddies were opening Burdock and they needed someone to run the venue. And so my friend Adrian Underhill and I did that, started doing that, and then I eventually that was my gig, and it was just so cool to be so exposed to so much amazing stuff that was happening locally.
And then tell me a bit about your music, right? Like, I mean, I could run down a bio, and, your third full-length album is long-listed for the 2019 Polaris Prize, and there's critical acclaim, and you toured with some very cool musicians, including one band we've already mentioned about 12 times. I feel like we've hit the limit there.
Broken Social Scene?
Yeah, like you toured with Broken Social Scene.
Yeah, I love Broken Social Scene. In 2015, I went and did a residency at the Banff Centre in Alberta, and the mentors for that program were Brendan Canning, Charles Spearin, and Kevin Drew. And so I connected with I had met Brendan before, but I really connected with them. And they at the time I'd gone through a lot of stuff in my personal life. I wasn't totally sure what the role of professional music would be in my life. And they just were so confident in what I was doing, and they really believed in me, and that still means a lot.
That's amazing. And of course, Brendan Canning, most famous for being heard on the Len hit single "Steal My Sunshine" LP version.
Talks about butter tarts.
Yeah. And he came over. He definitely owns the fact. He says he introduced that sample, the Andrea True connection. More, more, more. How do you like it? Like that is broke. That is, I almost said Broken Social Scene. That is "Steal My Sunshine," and he brought that to the band.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about the history of it.
I'm telling you now, Charlotte.
But I did text him once. I was on tour, and I was in a grocery store in Columbus, Ohio, and and "Steal My Sunshine" came on, and I texted Brendan, and was just like, every time I hear this song, I think
yeah, well, me too. One of the great Toronto singles in terms of pop hits.
Yep.
I can't argue that. Okay. But shout out, because I'm going to see him on Sunday, shout out to Snow and Informer, which did go to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 7 weeks in a row. Wait, is Snow
coming here?
Well, Snow's been here. He's coming back here.
Oh, cool.
I hung with him. I was at this event last week hanging with the guy. Once you get in the Snowman's orbit, it's unbelievable. But he's coming back here. He's actually got new music. It's been a while. And cool. Snow is going to come back to the basement. We got to talk more. He got banned by every bay in the country for stealing.
Every bay?
Every bay. Hudson Bay.
Oh, so he was a kleptomaniac?
You know what? That's your homework to listen to the Snow episode. You got to hear about his origin story because he was a young thug. Well,
thank you for the music, Snow, if you hear this.
Listen, I'll send it to him. Are you kidding me? No, I'm not. I know it sounds like he's dropping the names. I don't hang of Brendan Canning. Like, he came over and we say hi when we see each other. I was saying hi to him at the last Garrison event last year. But Snow, literally, we text each other often and we are actually buds, okay? Wow. So I'm just throwing that at you, Charlotte. You're blown away. Got to throw it out here. One more guy you toured with I want to ask you about because I love the guy's music. Tim Baker.
Yeah, I loved him. From the band Hey Rosetta, and has put out some really great solo records.
Hey Rosetta, I think they had the same problem as not a problem, but the same thing as Broken Social Scene, where there was like 400 members of the band. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think all of Newfoundland has been members of Hey Rosetta.
But what a band!
Yeah,
like Seeds and all band. That. It's just so good, so good. Okay, so just a little bit about. We're gonna get to your most recent album, which is called Hurts Like Hell. But maybe along the way, like how do you put out music? Like did you sign with a indie record label? Like, just give me a little bit of the business side of the whole thing.
Yeah, so I was self-releasing music up until 2018 when I signed with Next Door Records, which is the sister label of Outside Music. And shout out Evan Newman from Outside Music, Next Door Records. And I was the first... My record, The Shape of Your Name, was the first release under Nextdoor. And
that was 2019.
That was 2019. And then I signed for the US and world. I stayed with Nextdoor for Canada and then signed with Polyvinyl and Double Whammy for my last 2 records, which were Highs and the Minuses in 2021 and Could Have Done Anything in 2023. And now I'm with Merge Records.
Cool label.
Very cool label. I'm still so honored. So I'm with Merge and Nextdoor in Canada.
Can we hear the title track from this new album?
Yes.
You can't stop me, Charlotte. It's my show, okay? I'm playing it.
getting over it. Letting loose on the front lawn, shorts and boots on, hose running on a low drip. You had to shed your armor a little bit. Stop thinking you weren't wanted. Had to get out of your house. That place was feeling kinda haunted. You took a drive to the guy. Karen said you can't make it if you never even try. And you can't feel the wind blow if you never go outside. You could get out of your shell for a minute. You could even rebel for a minute. So hard to tell when you're in it, 'cause it hurts like hell when you're in it. You could get out of your shell for a minute. You could even rebel for a minute. So hard to tell when you're in it, 'cause it hurts like hell when you're in it. He looked a little surprised, some confusion in his eyes. Hair long and wild as hell. When he opened the door after you rang the bell, you didn't stay to get a reaction, didn't give yourself time for traction. You just bolted, crestfallen, crying in your car, thinking how appalling. You took a drive, blue sky. Karen said you can't make it if you never even try. And you can't feel the wind blow if you never go outside.
Charlotte, as God is my witness, I plan to play 30 seconds and fade it down. But this song slays, man. This is great.
Thank you.
Who's the other voice with you?
That's Buck Meek from the band Big Thief.
Tell me a little bit about Hurts Like Hell. Is this autobiographical? What's hurting you?
This song is, I wouldn't say it's autobiographical because I sort of made up the story, but it is in the sense that I can relate to the emotions. But really it's about somebody who is trying to get over their, just like self-loathing and like confident. They're in a crisis of confidence, but they're trying to put themselves out there, in this case, in a romantic way that is reciprocated. And I just like the story of it. It's kind of I think it's a really nice story.
You could get out of your shell for a minute. You could even rebel for a minute. So hard to tell when you're in it, 'cause it hurts like hell when you're in it. You could get out of your shell for a minute. You could even rebel for a minute. So hard to tell when you're in it, 'cause it hurts like hell when you're in it. It just hurts like hell when you're in it. It just hurts like hell when you're in it. It just hurts like hell when you're in it. Yeah, it hurts like hell.
So when it comes time to name this album, do you just say like, well, let's name it after that banger?
Not really. I was trying to think about what sort of summed up the sentiment of the album, and I thought it was kind of funny because this song's obviously called Hurts Like Hell, but there's also a song about childbirth or the moments right after childbirth, which hurts like hell. And then just this idea of that things hurt like hell. It hurts like hell when you're in it, but then you move to the other side, and I really see this record as being written from being on the other side of something.
So we haven't mentioned her name yet. We've been teasing that there's somebody else associated with the broken social scene that we're going to talk about right now. But I get these press releases, and one of them was talking about who's being inducted into the I got to get the title right. Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame.
I think Canadian Music Hall of Fame.
See, I knew I'd butcher that. That's why you'd make a great co-host, because you'd be like the Robert Lawson I've been looking for, fact checking me left, right, and center. But so a band I've always loved. Like I said, I'm much older than you. I was around for when Up to Here dropped. Okay, but the Tragically Hip. So I'm like, the Tragically Hip are being inducted. Okay, that's pretty cool. Speaking of Jay Gold, and then I see a lot, and it's so appropriate because in the history of the Tragically Hip, only 2 people have sang lead vocals. Do you want to name the 2 people who have sang lead vocals for the Tragically Hip in the history of that band?
Gord Downey and Leslie Feist.
That's correct. Look at come to bar trivia with me. You could help me out here. Okay, so Leslie Feist. So can we spend a moment and talk about Leslie Feist?
Yeah.
You may start this because I've never met the woman. I'd love to, but I only know of her illustrious musical history. But how do you know Feist?
Well, I've been a fan of hers forever, and we have a few mutual friends, but hadn't really connected. And then we're in a group chat for touring moms together. And through that, she reached out to me, I think, about my last record, and I was blown away and starstruck because I'm such a fan of hers.
Right.
And then we were just in touch a little bit, and when it came time to make this record, I was chatting with Phil, the producer, who's a friend of hers as well, and we both thought, wow, wouldn't it be great to get Leslie to sing? But we were both nervous about it. And then Phil, without even telling me, he asked her, and she said yes. And so, yeah, she ended up laying down a really beautiful vocal on the song Living With It.
Well, I'm going to play it if that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So not to bury the lead here, but Feist is on one of the songs on your latest album, Hurts Like Hell.
Yes.
That's cool. That whole scene, right? So there were in Canada, so the Toronto scene was kind of coming out of Broken Social Scene, and there's so many like parallel bands and associated bands, be it, I don't know, Metric, or, there's so many bands that come out of Broken Social. Feist, of course, their solo career and everything, Peaches and all this stuff. And then you kind of look at what's going on in Montreal, and then Arcade Fire's coming out of Montreal, and then the album Funeral, and then Wolf Parade, which is having a moment because of Heated Rivalry.
Yeah.
And I loved that song from the minute I heard it back in, I think it was 2004. I'm trying to remember, at least over 20 years ago. That's a tremendous song. I'll Believe in Anything.
Yeah. Incredible song.
Incredible song. So, but you have all this stuff, there's a Vancouver scene, Hot Heat, and
New Pornographers.
Absolutely. Thank you. Absolutely. Use it tonight. Okay, so we have all this whole indie rock explosion in Canada, and I feel like it takes about 20 years for nostalgia to kick in or whatever. And now that we're kind of 20 years removed from Funeral and what's the Queen Mary, whatever the album. Apologies. You're so good at this. And Broken Song, I Forgot It in People, and all these things, and Feist, and now is the time where everybody's just revisiting that amazing indie rock explosion in Canada. So Feist is I think Feist is experiencing a renaissance, a resurgence, and people are talking about her story again. I think it's a hot, sexy topic.
Well, she also put out an incredible record in 2023 called Multitudes that, I think the live show that accompanied that record was stunning and like groundbreaking in so many ways. So, yeah, I feel like she's been here the whole time. She's been here the whole time.
But her commercial peak, of course, is 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Yes.
Without a doubt. And she clearly doesn't want to do that again.
I think it's so cool that she's always stayed true to her art and always done what has felt right to her artistically. And every single record that she's made is like incredible.
She is a true artist, true talented artist. Absolutely. And I love the fact she's not pursuing commercial fame and success.
I think it's so cool because it's like there's this script of what's supposed to happen when you start picking up steam, and it's all about this whole thing about growth. Well, for me, it's always so much more inspiring to see people like that.
Also, I'm going to go on the record as telling you a better popular song than 1, 2, 3, 4 is Mushaboom. I think that's a better single.
I mean, she's got so many. And My Moon, My Man is also on the Heated Rivalry soundtrack,
right?
And blown up right now.
Okay, well, without further ado here, I'm going to play a song called Living With It. And this is featuring Feist. And this is you, Charlotte, so let's listen to this one. I took it from the video, so you might get a little. Yeah. It's not a. Yeah.
I remember where we were when you said it, and I'll never forget it. I remember everything about our hotel rooms with the double locked doors in between. And how I couldn't breathe when you left, filled with a mixture of thrill and regret and guilt and desire. The way you talked to me was wild and true, that half smile and that glow in you, your faded blue wagon, your steely-eyed stare, your signature salt and pepper hair. You said, is this the house? I said, yeah, that's me right there. But I didn't get out. Maybe I'm just better at living with it than you are, but I'm the one crying in my car, telling you to go and I want you to stay. Maybe I'm getting in my own way, or maybe I'm too afraid to throw it all away. I remember where we were when you said it, I'll never forget it. I remember everything about our whispered calls when everyone else was asleep. Disarmingly honest with those weathered features. You said, I know I love you right, and you reached for your t-shirt. I still have your number, I'll never delete it. Do you still have mine? Maybe I'm just better at living with it than you are, but I'm the one crying in my car, telling you to go and I want you to stay. Maybe I'm getting in my own way, or maybe I'm too afraid. Maybe I'm just better at living with it than you are, but I'm the one crying in my car, telling you to go and I want you to stay. Maybe I'm getting in my own way, or maybe I'm too afraid to throw it all away.
Charlotte Cornfield, as you listen to this in the headphones right now, I want to know, what are you thinking?
I still am pinching myself that Leslie is singing on it. It's just, I still hear it and I'm like, what? How did that happen? It's cool to hear.
But it happened. I just heard it.
Yeah.
This is real life. No need to pinch yourself. We're here. If this was a fever dream, I'd be a lot more handsome here. Okay. So Feist, what was it like collaborating with her?
So cool. I mean, she's just such a generous, open-hearted, creative, brilliant person. And at every turn, she was just so amazing to work with on this. And we also did a video together for it. So yeah, just nothing but praise.
Okay. Were you careful? Because I always have to tell myself, if somebody's coming over here that I've been a lifelong fan of, and I've been, had all their albums and all, like, oh my God, I have to tell myself, don't be that fanboy guy. You have to kind of, you're having did you have to tell yourself, okay, maybe one sentence to Leslie about what her music meant to you and then just get to business?
Kind of, yeah. It's like,
you don't want a fangirl,
it's that balance of, I wanted her to know how much it meant to me. And I also didn't want to just keep talking about it. So I was like, okay, let's be two human beings together and do this thing.
And then you produced that great single there, that great song.
Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. Okay. And I know the album really, by the way, one fun fact is that we talked about how it's out on Merge Records, and they also put out those early Arcade Fire records to kind of tie it all together there. I did, you just collaborated there with Leslie Feist, but have you collaborated with a future FOTM? I've been talking to his buddy Avi, and we're going to make this happen. Joel Plaskett?
I have, yeah. I sang on one of Joel's records, 44. I sang on one tune, And yeah, I love Joel. And his whole scene that he's got going in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia is so cool. I know he's back and forth. He's kind of bi-coastal at the moment, but yeah, just amazing.
But we're not a coast.
Well, he's actually bi-coastal between the West Coast and the East Coast.
Well, I want him in the basement, so he's going to have to carve out some Toronto time. I know he's in town quite a bit. Okay, and just to before we wrap things up with you, and again, from Two Horses in 2011, and then Future Snowbird in 2016. I just did an episode about snowbirds.
Cool.
Shout out to Anne Marie. Okay, so Future Snowbird 2016, The Shape of Your Name 2019, Highs and the Minuses 2021, Could Have Done Anything 2023. Then you made a baby. Am I right?
Actually, my daughter was born like 3 weeks before Could Have Done Anything came out.
Well, that's something you did. You could have done anything, and you made a baby, okay? That's a miracle right there. And then Hurts Like Hell is the latest release. I'm told I wasn't there. I wish I was there, but I'm told you had a great record release performance at Sonic Boom.
Yeah, played a Sonic Boom. And then we did the release show at Lula Lounge, and it was amazing. Leslie Feist came up and sang that tune with me, and yeah, it was really special.
Big stars are out. Okay. Oh, speaking of big stars, so here's my question before I find out what you're up to now is, are you willing to reveal which big star song you chose for tomorrow night at the Garrison?
Totally, yeah. I'm going to sing the song Big Black Car.
No relation to Gino Vanelli's Black Cars.
I don't know that song.
No. Black cars look better in the shade. No, that's because you don't remember the 80s. That's the problem, Charlotte.
I was born in the late 80s.
You don't remember the mid 80s in Black Cars. Okay, can we get off Black Cars already? So what's next for obviously beyond the Garrison tomorrow? Mm-hmm. And again, if people listening just show up at the Garrison, I don't know what time it starts. 7? Do you know?
I think 8.
8. Okay, so you bring some non-perishable food items for the Daily Bread Food Bank, and that is your ticket, okay? That is your ticket in the door, and then all those artists we name-checked off the top are going to perform big star songs in honor of Bookie. Did you ever meet Dave Bookman?
No, and I'm sad I didn't, because by all accounts, he was such an incredible person, but I'm so aware of his impact on the scene and everything he did for artists.
I have maximum respect for the man. I also did not meet Bookie, by the way. I had maximum respect for the man, but he didn't like me. So I know it's sort of a weird dynamic that he didn't like me because of something I wrote when he was released from his duties at 102.1 before he ended up on Indie 88. He didn't like something I wrote, and he let me know, and then denied all my nice invitations to come chat about his great career. But I was always a Bookie fan, so much love to Bookie, and I'm glad Elliot Lefko and Stephen Stanley are putting on this event every year. I hope next year they don't do Rush, because Charlotte Cornfield will not participate. All right, so love the new music, love the old music. I actually pulled more songs to play, but I see the clock here, and I'm wondering if you could tell us what's going on beyond the Garrison tomorrow.
For sure, yeah. So I have a bunch of summer festivals coming up. Arts Wells, Hillside, Northern Lights in Sudbury, something in Calgary. Yeah, just a bunch of Canadian summer fests. There's going to be a tour that'll get announced in June. That's a bigger tour, mostly U.S., but some Canada stuff.
Oh, so you'll do that, eh? Because I have had, speaking of lowest of the low, they won't cross the border right now. And a member of Sloan came over to say he's not crossing the border right now. So Sloan,
which member?
Andrew Scott is the member who is not crossing the border. He says, control your dogs, America. Don't invite me over till you control your dogs.
I agree. But
you got to make money.
I got to go there. Well, and also, I have so many incredible friends there who I love, and playing there feels important to me, but I understand.
But is it, forget the Trump factor and forget the whole 51st state rhetoric and what's going on in the world. Is it tough to, because the rules are different for the Canadian artist who goes and plays in the States versus the American artist who comes up here? Is all that rigmarole difficult to navigate?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on U.S. visas for the last 13 years, I think. So I'm very accustomed to the process, but it is
pun intended, customed.
Yeah, it is arduous and time consuming and money consuming.
Well, yeah, because it doesn't sound fair to me that for you to play in the USA, regardless of politics, so let's remove that from the equation, the American could just come up and play. They just cross the border and say, I got a gig at the Horseshoe, and then they come in and play.
I think it's like somewhat more complex than that. Like
Okay.
I think they need a letter.
I may be
yeah.
misled or something, but
Yeah.
it's much easier for the Americans to come up here to play than for the Canadians to go down there and play.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, listen, I just met you, and I really, really like you. I just want you to know, Charlotte.
Thank you. So nice to chat. Thanks for having me on the cast.
And continued success, and I can't see you tomorrow, but I've got to catch you. Because I love what I hear in the headphones, and I can't wait to see you perform live.
Thank you.
And don't leave without that lasagna. Oh, and a pro tip. I don't think I dropped this earlier, but I want to make sure you know Charlotte and all the Charlotte heads, all the Cornfield heads out there. I love that surname. I guess I mentioned that off the top. But I want to make sure everybody knows that if you have old cables, old electronics, and old devices, maybe you've got some old phones you haven't worked in years, don't throw that in the garbage because those chemicals end up in our landfill. So please go to recyclemyelectronics.ca. Put in your postal code and find out where you can drop all that off to be properly recycled. You got it, Charlotte?
I got it. Awesome.
And that brings us to the end of our 1897th show. 1897. Go to torontomike.com for all your Toronto Mike needs. By the way, Charlotte, you're going to hear a little bit of Black Cars in this closing theme. I'll tell you
Cool.
when it comes up, okay? Elmo gig is May 21. That is less than 2 weeks from now. It's Rob Bruce on stage at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:30. Rob's on stage at 7 playing stuff on his keyboard. Maybe he'll play. Who knows what he'll play? But then at 8 o'clock, I grab the mic, and I don't give it up till 9:30 when special guests join me for a grand finale. I'd love to see you there. Like, I'd love to see anyone there. I hope it's not an empty room, Charlotte. Have you ever played to an empty room?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll be in that mom's group with you commiserating if that happens to me here. Okay, so I'm going to thank some partners and then hopefully nail the Black Cars by Gino. This is performed, by the way, by Rob Bruce, who I've mentioned several times. But the partners that made this all possible include Great Lakes Brewery. You got your beer. That hot pop was good?
Yeah, it's good. It's cool.
Beautiful. Palma Pasta. I've got your lasagna, but your partner doesn't get any. Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball. I am at Christie Pitts for 2 p.m. on Sunday. Come check it out. No ticket required, unlike my Elmo gig. Nick Ianni's, recyclemyelectronics.ca, and of course, Ridley Funeral Home. See you all next week. Oh, so this is the subdivisions by Rush we talked about. It's all these Easter eggs. Okay. So we just talked about that. That's Mr. Dress Up.
I know Mr. Dresser.
Okay, cool. That's the Zit Remedy from Degrassi.
Mm-hmm.
Snake, Wheels, Joey.
Yeah. I have a song called Wheels, about wheels.
Oh, saddest story. Saddest story.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it when we take it. Here it is. This is Black Cars by Gino Vanelli. This is the polka dot door.
Mm-hmm.
So my next guest here, Tuesday, Don Pyle. Shadowy man on a shadowy planet.
And isn't he also a barber?
And he's also a barber. Maybe he'll cut my hair. Dawn, noon on the 12th.